Now, a record 49.5 million people are expected to go hungry in West and Central Africa next year due to a combination of conflict, climate change, and high food prices. According to the United Nations, the figure is 4% higher than in 2023. In coastal countries, the number of people facing acute hunger is expected to reach 6.2 million in 2024, up 16% from this year, and that's according to a new regional food security analysis released by the UN World Food Programme and other humanitarian agencies. Now, more than 2 out of 3 households in West and Central Africa cannot afford healthy diets, the analysis found. The cost of a daily nutritious diet in the Central Sahel countries, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, is 110% higher than the daily minimum wage in the region. Now, bringing the conversation back to Nigeria, the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, recently declared that airlines operating in Nigeria would be considered duty-bound to compensate passengers for flight delays or outright flight cancellations. Arise analyst Sobowale joins us now to discuss this plan. Good afternoon. Warm welcome to Newsday.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. Great to have you. I believe frequent flyers across Nigeria received this news and jubilated. But how practical do you think this is?
Well, it's a customer service issue. It's not an issue for the minister. We have the Federal Civil Aviation Authority, which is in charge. But essentially, he was addressing legislators. So he has to say some things. But the issue is that it is in the interest of the airlines to make their customers happy. And making customers happy include flying on schedule, giving them good treatment on the flight, and making sure that they land safely. Safety, service delivery, they are key factors. It is in the interest of the airlines to do that, so that they get the loyalty of their customers, both potential and real, so that they can always come back to want to prefer that airline over the other. It is a customer relationship issue. Government should not dabble into that. That is what is called big government. See, the private is a private sector issue. The duty of government is to provide the wherewithal for safe flights, comfortable trips, both from and to, and on flights, on flight good treatment. It is in the interest of the airlines to do that because they are profit-oriented. They are not Red Cross. They are profit-oriented. So it is in their own interest to make their customers happy and satisfy their needs and wants, so that they can always come back. So when the customers come back, that they make profit, and they're able to attract more customers. So to me, it is a customer relationship matter. It is not the duty of government.
Okay, so Mr. Sobowale, if I get you correctly, and please don't think I'm taking this any way that you don't intend for me to, are you content with what the objective is, but you just think that it was an overstep probably from the ministry?
Look, it stems from poor service delivery by the airlines. But we are all Nigerians. If the airlines don't go on time, there must be reasons. Several times you talk of shortage of aviation fuel. And you see, the airlines are few and far in between, and people want to travel. By all means, people have been taken from one destination to a wrong destination.
Yes, but
because the airlines, because of the exigencies on the ground.
I'm aware, but I'm saying, are you content with the objective, even though it's coming from the ministry, and you don't think it should come from?
But what I'm saying is that it is the duty of the airlines, any worthwhile airlines that has put capital, buy planes, and so on, to make sure that it satisfies its customers. It is not the duty of government to do that. We have the Civil Aviation Authority. The duty of government, because if you look at it, it is not as easy as that. If the airlines don't have the wherewithal to fly on schedule and certain infrastructure, certain things are not put in place by government, will it be fair to sanction them? What he has done is a deterrence, get me, that the airlines should at all times, so as not to be disgraced or stigmatized, because they say they will publish the names of those who cancel flights, who delay flights, and who divert flights on a weekly basis. It's a monitoring thing. It is the duty of government. But I am telling you that essentially it is the responsibility of airlines to treat their customers well, to make sure that they travel in good condition, so that they can always come back and prefer that airline to the other. It is a competitive industry. So that is my take. It is the intention of the minister is to show the legislators that government is not sleeping and is aware of the plight of Nigerians who get short paid when they travel. But then I'm saying that primarily it is the duty of the airlines, and they don't need to be prodded on that.
Don't you think it's possibly time for them to start being prodded and being disgraced and being stigmatized? Because when you hear some of the stories and experiences of people who have their flights cancelled at the last minute, you have some people miss weddings, they miss burials, they miss all sorts of, every manner of chaos you can imagine takes place at the airport. And there's never, it's all with impunity. There are no consequences. There's no succor that is ever provided to the people who are suffering this. So isn't this time, because we look at the productivity of the economy, we look at promoting even just tourism in Nigeria. How do you promote tourism in Nigeria when you can't even recommend or guarantee rather to travelers coming from home and abroad that they'll be able to meet up with their travel itineraries? So isn't it time maybe for the government to take a heavier hand in regulating aviation?
I don't think so. I don't think so. What is on the ground? You see, you've painted a very dismal picture of the aviation industry. It is not the reality. People still do businesses. I mean, do business in Nigeria, they come here, they go. But you see, what is happening there, it's not different from what is happening from the rest of Nigeria. And you know so many issues responsible for that. I mentioned shortage of aviation fuel, the cost of aviation fuel, the cost of air flight. Not many Nigerians can afford to fly now. Go and look at the cost. Pre-COVID, even after COVID, now, even after fuel subsidy is gone. You see, it is an industry that is very important for trade and development and commerce and all that, but it has its travails, and you cannot just short-circuit it and leave it from the rest of the country. It is part of the country. So it is not the duty of government, I'm telling you, to tell the airlines that they must treat their customers well. It is their duty. And especially now that they charge high fares, they charge high fares, you cannot double your airfares and not provide service commensurate with it. Let us give them some responses, some understanding, and some respect. It is their duty to make sure they make profit, and they only make profit if there is customer satisfaction. You can generate customer loyalty and make them smile all the way to the bank, in spite of the constraints and infrastructural problems on the ground that we are familiar with.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But do you share the Minister of Aviation's stance when he stated that the best option to develop Nigerian airports is through concessions to investors?
Right. I mean, the way we are now, you don't have the skills, you don't have the capacity locally. You get me? So we have to, and then it's a highly sophisticated industry. Very highly sophisticated industry, depending a lot on technology, new technology for safety, security, and comfort of passengers. You don't have the scale. You have a small civil aviation school. So invariably, you need people to manage our airports, to manage infrastructure, to make them work. It is the situation we must accept. We do not have the requisite skills to do it locally. So, if you don't have a airline now. I remember there was a time we have the Nigeria Airways and all that. We have, so many local airlines competing until, of course, accidents started happening because they were using old planes and all that. There is a lot of, you see, it is highly sophisticated, capital-intensive, technologically run industry. Not anybody you can go into it. And the fact that air flight tickets have quadrupled several times over puts a challenge on them. I'm not saying the minister's call is not in order, but I am saying that it is the duty of the airlines, you get me, to make sure that customers are well treated. Basically, that's what I'm saying.
Now, given what you said earlier, which I believe we all agree, is that, you know, this industry, the aviation industry, can't be separated from the rest of Nigeria and the nuances of what all businesses are facing on a daily basis. What does the future look like? Are you optimistic or pessimistic? Do you think we can actually get to a place where, you know, flights operate normally according to schedule? We don't have the mishaps at the regularity that we seem to have them, and so forth. Do you think that it's feasible?
It is possible. I'm very optimistic.
And what
I'm
needs
very
to happen?
optimistic. You see, the aviation industry is dependent on so many. Okay, this is Harmattan now. Okay, you know, Harmattan flights cannot go. You go and say they should go and return flights. I mean, fares to customers. Does that make sense? You can't going to the north now. You must be ready from here, from Lagos. You must be ready for flight delays, because you get to the airport, they say they cannot land there, or you are coming from Abuja. You see yourself when you look at the planes there and the haze. You know that no way your flight will be delayed. Then who will punish the airlines for that? I've just mentioned part of natural thing. Yeah. You see, climatology plays a huge part in air travels.
Absolutely. For
safety, because it's not only comfort, you want to enjoy the flight and land in one piece.
Safely.
That's it.
Thank you so much. When Vimba asked if we were pessimistic or optimistic, I want to tell her you're an eternal optimist. But exactly. Thank you so much, Arise News analyst Mr. Sobowale, for your robust analysis. We appreciate you always.